Do you need help?
They're taking away people's hopes and dreams and their self-fulfillment. I think self-fulfillment matters. I don't care if I'm the...
It's all about selling drugs.
If you are a child, you better not smile, 'cause they'll take you to the quack, put you on legal crack. So if you are a child, you better not smile, 'cause they'll take you to the quack, put you on Prozac.
Welcome to the Everyday Psych Victim Project podcast, hosted today by myself, Darryl Brown, an extensive institutionalised childhood mental health protege of England's national health system, now chemically castrated and stripped of my sexuality as an adult from the drugs. I write about sterilising the mentally ill and campaign to stop drugging the children. Hosting alongside me across the Prozac contaminated pond is founder of the Everyday Psych Victims Project, a unique place where, as blacked out in the media, everyday victims of the abuse of psychiatry and mental health will be able to anonymously share their wisdom and experiences. If you would like to join us as a guest on the show, please get in touch with the show. They got 1 on 4. The UN's target is 1 on 4 for...
1 in 4.
Yeah. For females, that dream is realised. 1 in 4 females, I think in America or UK, probably the same, are on drugs or on mental hygiene drugs. Like 1 in 4.
I don't know.
females.
I just know it's 10% overall or something. I think Alex Jones wanted to say 20%, but then when I looked it up, I saw 10% from the CDC. But
that
just
doesn't.
Antidepressants, not the other.
That's not gender specific though. There's something like more of them are females than males.
Yeah.
It's over dominated in that way.
Which is, I'm gonna call it bipolar or something. They want to say you can't have emotions.
Yeah.
They want to attack all the people, especially if they're just had a baby. Apparently, that's a huge field. They want to attack all the people who just had a baby. And attack.
I know how. That makes me so mad. Like they're trying to give pregnant mums birth defect drugs and stuff, and like they're not going to realize when their kids have things that they're being then diagnosed with. They call them autism, or they call them like mental health, whatever. Like whatever, I don't know, or whatever problems those kids have, they're not going to realize that if they believe that these were good ideas to take drugs when they were pregnant, they're not going to realize that was probably what caused their child to have serious birth problems.
Yeah, they're not going to realize it. They're going to be like, oh, I don't know, I wasn't smoking. They even say
I wasn't smoking. Oh, I don't know. I know what you mean. People are... Oh, God.
Yeah, they can be pretty damn blind sometimes. They're not like us. They don't see the reality. They're like, that's not positive. Well, it's just reality. Like, you're just recognizing reality.
I challenge them to go up to Martin Luther King or someone in a wheelchair and say, that's not positive, you're not being positive enough. I'd like to see them try, or go into a prison and say that stuff to people.
I know, right?
Yeah, like, go enroll yourself at Guantanamo Bay, and like tell yourself you're not being positive enough.
I know, right? It's reality, it's torture. And they're like, oh, it's not positive to talk about torture or whatever. Well, it's reality.
Yeah, take your medication. That's what it's like.
Your drug.
No, we're totally honest. Like, you have to get through a problem a lot of the time. The best way is to learn and get through it.
Yeah, you adapt to it. You adapt and change. You're supposed to. Yeah. You're supposed to get layers and grow. But yeah, it's awful how people are like that. They just don't even know, and then they're not doing anything. Like, they're just stuck in, and they think psychobabble people don't know. Oh, it's just a psychiatrist. Psychologists are okay. No, psychologists are the same people. They can have a psychologist, like in Washington, it's just psychologists, nurse practitioners. They didn't even have a psychiatrist. Like, the schools have psychologists and therapists and counselors, and those are people who are doing the frontline people, and then they're kicking out students and sending them to psychiatrists and mental people to get drugged and get evaluated because they can't legally evaluate a person. So then they gotta.
They the initiated people. Like you go, like when people pick up someone and they want to going to be getting them into pimping, they groom them, don't they? They don't flat out go them into the whole pimping thing.
Yeah.
They'll introduce them to different things, and sometimes they'll give them cars and money or whatever. Like, But this is kids at school. They're being filtered out and introduced to this. They're taken to another room.
Yeah.
They're asking about their problems as if they care or whatever, or just asking them a bunch of
Yeah, they
questions
always
that they won't
isolate them.
understand.
They never do it in public.
Yeah,
They gotta take them
exactly.
to a different room or something and send them away to other people to talk to, multiple different people, a whole chain of people, chain of command.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting groomed for sure to go on the mental stuff.
Yeah. There's no other words you can use. I mean, they be getting groomed. I like the word psychobabble as well. I mean,
Yeah.
that describes it.
I know, I tried to
Describes
look
it.
up, like, it just babble, like, it doesn't make, it's just terrible term, psychobabble.
It's very fitting. Yeah, I like that one. I might borrow that one.
You should, but yeah, if you look online, it just says it's terms for psych, but I used it as it's just nonsense, like psych.
Psychobabble.
But yeah, it's ridiculous. They're grooming them to do all that stuff, like get involved with all that stuff, because they just put it in the school and they try to make it education, like they try to mental health awareness education, mental health month or something. Oh, these people are having suicide, and you just see the rate doesn't decrease. The
No,
mental health
your interventions are
increases.
making things a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah, they are. They're like, oh, people are dying. Like, there's 1,100 people are dying on college campus. And they're like, put all these little flags out there. And it's disgusting.
They're really after people. They're really after people.
Yeah, they are.
Whew, that's those. How many kids are gonna get caught up in this? You know, teen screen, because we got rid of teen screen. I know they just Obama
But
vetoed
just-
probably
they
another
just
new
don't
bill
use
or
the
whatever.
word.
He was gonna veto it if they didn't get it anyway.
I think it's still around. Just don't use that word. They just send them to counselors immediately. Like,
Yeah, they do it anyway.
It-
Yeah, it's all routine. But it's a hell of a lot easier when they could do it in the middle of like the cafeteria or whatever with a bunch of computers.
Yeah, it's true.
that just only load the. They don't. You can't play Warcraft or anything on them. You can only play mental teen screen program. How are you feeling today? 10 questions. I'd like to hear what psychiatrists think about that, because they didn't seem to be kicking up that much of a fuss about that. It was parents that kicked up a fuss, thank God, about that.
yeah.
It wasn't
that's-
psychiatrists. I mean,
that's
what do psychiatrists think about that now?
Well, they pretty much still do that, just don't call it that. Like, they'll mess people
I mean, it
up
is
in
true.
school. Like, if a student says something to a teacher, they'll try to send them over to get, emergency, like, mental health stuff, or go to the safe place, and it's not safe.
Ooh, what is the safe place? This sounds terrible. I hear that. I listen to Alex Jones and other people. They talk about a safe space. And, like, I get the kind of idea from it, because I hear some like weird European liberals talk about it on weird places here, whether it be usually from either a university or on a radio show or something.
Yeah, they
on
try to
TV.
make it seem good, but
BBC.
safe place, it's more like, it's not safe at all. It's like full of mental health and like getting
Like, don't
stuff.
say anything we disagree with. Space.
It's not safe at all. Like, they'll try to say, oh, you're safe, that you're locked up in a psych ward. They're typing
Yeah.
at TCU. They're like, she'll be safe there in a psych ward.
Yeah, they call
Safe.
prisons and stuff a place
It's
of
not
safety.
safe at all. Yeah.
I mean, a pimp's home is a place of safety.
Yeah, I know, right? Pimp's home is safe. It's not really. It's fake safe. Like, that's not safe places. It's like they have all these safe stuff that try to tell you to go to a safe place or whatever. And it's not safe at all. It's like full of mental health and therapy and
So
stuff.
what is it? So like a safe space, right? Is it like, do they have a designated block for this or something?
It's like a little office. It's like safe space, little
Oh.
office or something. Building.
This
or
is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they have it here too. I'm gonna need to ask some people
Yeah,
that
yeah,
are still in, that are in school or
They
something.
could call it something else. They probably have something like that. Just not.
It was bad enough when we called it a detention room. Did they used to call them detention rooms?
No, it's not detention. It's like they just use psych word and psychobabble in there in the safe places. They claim, oh, you have a problem, go to the safe place, but it's not safe. It's more like segregation, you know? It's like,
Yeah, no, it is.
Okay.
It's like, so do they have detention rooms as well? Like in a school,
Nah.
they have. So they have notes, and they got
not
because it was.
colleges. They have
What about
in high school, but they don't have safe places. But they have safe
Okay.
places in colleges.
Okay. So they're
They
starting off
split.
this safe places in colleges and unis and
Yeah,
um,
universities.
schools are just like dreaming about integrating it at the moment. But
Probably, I don't
you
know.
can only imagine they'll probably integrate it in schools as well.
Yeah,
I
K through
imagine.
12. I don't know. Their safe places are counselors. That's what
Yeah,
they
yeah.
do. They send them straight to the counselor or whatever. They don't go.
They probably give them slips as well.
Yeah.
Teacher probably has like a slip to give them for like a counselor slip. Ooh.
Yeah, to then get them on mental health and get diagnosed. It's all about getting
Yeah.
diagnosed. Like they'll force mental evaluations and stuff and say you shouldn't be in school. You need to get out of class because it's too much.
Yeah, as if it's helpful.
Yeah. Oh, it's helpful to get kicked out of school or because you can't handle things. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how they done it to me when I was a kid. The same methodology, like,
Yeah.
oh, it wouldn't be helpful for you to be here with, or it would be, or this will make
Oh,
it
it's
helpful
too
for you while they
overwhelming.
kick you out of school, as if that's like
Yeah, like you need school. Exactly how those
helpful for
people
your diagnosis or something.
like WP and those other people in those universities. Like he doesn't even use his real name. I don't even know what his real
Who's
name is.
WP?
WP is a guy from Princeton. Maybe you should look him up, but he tried to sue the school over discrimination, like kick him out of housing. So he's housing discrimination, all these different things. He was representing himself because obviously you can't get any lawyers yourself. But he had some knowledge about it. But yeah, he doesn't use his real name. He just uses his initials WP, and I think his case is still there. But last time I read about it, the judge was telling them to try to settle it outside of court, and Princeton had 3 lawyers reply. Of course, they have huge legal departments, right? But it's like,
Yeah.
but he was trying to sue over that getting kicked out, and he was like, how could it be helpful to get kicked out and away from your friends and from your school and everything, and it's going to be stuck on my record that I was out for a year from Princeton and had to go to a different school. Princeton's like an Ivy League and stuff, and they tried to write all that stuff, but he believed in the whole illness thing, but he was still punished and stuff, and like, because he tried to attempt to die and stuff in a dorm, and so they kicked him out of a dorm and out of the school. But it's like, he even believes in it, but still, like,
Yeah.
and he was removed and stuff, but he was like,
It was the way he was treated and removed
Yeah.
from society that
Yeah,
there was
so
a
he-
bigger
society.
barrier to him getting on and making a success of his life.
yeah,
than-
exactly. People try
Yeah.
to argue that who are kicked out of school, but, you know, most of the time they just get ignored. They get calls they call these certain places all the time, like, pointless organizations. Like, they'll claim the organizations will do something and just ignore them. Like, they'll call, that one place, starts with a B, but, you know, it doesn't matter because it's kind of for mental, like, they believe in the illness stuff, but then they don't call it. It was like Brazilian Mental Health Law or something center or something, Brazilian Law Center or something like that. They keep calling that place and thinking, oh, they can get representation because they kick out students every single day, prevent them from going to school. Like, you'll even see in psych wards, you'll see college students unable to go to class, or people even like 17 in there because I guess, oh, they're allowed to have 17-year-olds or something, or like 18-year-olds. Like the youngest, and then they'll have old people, all these people stuck in there, and co-ed, all this stuff, like, weird, but anyways, they kick them out every single day, and they're like, it's harmful to keep, like, that was my thing too, it's harmful to get kicked out of school and ruin your career chances, whatever you had, and try to stop all of it, make you...
They want you to accept the so-called mental illness and stuff.
Yeah, it's like to even make you accept it even more and force you even more to ruin your career aspects and any kind of job or your education, take you away from your friends, from any volunteering you're doing, any kind of jobs you're doing, because it removes your job too. Like, you'll lose your job if you're gone for a week or whatever. Like, they might accept it one time and the next time you're gone, you know, kind of deal. Like, that happened with me, I think, too. Probably had something to do with it, even though I was... No, but I could have lost the job over getting stuck in there for 8 days or whatever. But it's like, or even almost, it was like 2 weeks, really. It was almost like, I was gone for like 3 weeks. But anyways, it was like, I don't know. It's harmful. It's not safe at all. It's harmful. And yeah, it is to make a person believe in more that they're mental because they have no choice. because they're like, they have no choices. They're not normal. Like, they're not with everybody else. They're not independent. They're not with the non-diagnosed group, you know. Now they're diagnosed, and now they're stuck in this rut, like this. They can't get out of it and go on to their career like normal. Like, they can't just adapt and be resilient and stuff. It's not safe at all. It's totally like a joke. Like, it's not a safe place at all.
Isolate you. It's not safe to do that.
Yeah, it's not safe.
To remove
like, it's
you.
fake help. Like, they say fake safe. You know, it's fake help. It's not safe at all. It's creepy.
Man, so what's the resistance to safe spaces are done from they're done from an official standpoint. Obviously, the colleges and unis.
Yeah, they
made
these
it.
Places. Yeah, they sponsored these places with programs. A lot of times with the government too, they'll make these safe places and stuff, and put them on there. It's mostly like just get psychobabble language and get kicked out of school. Like that.
So we're meant to believe, right? Barack Obama, obviously not just him, but like to put it as the figurehead, as our apparent social figurehead. Let's say Barack Obama, right? He really cares about safe spaces, yet he's incarcerating more black people than ever. Yet we're meant to believe he cares about safe spaces.
Yeah, I know, right? It is like a safe space. Oh, you're safe. You're in jail. Now you're safe.
Yeah, no, they do actually. Yeah, they call it a safe space. They call prisoners a place of safety,
Yeah,
which I think the words
right.
they use here.
It's
Being
safe, though. They're like, oh, they're safe. They're not on the streets, or they're not doing stuff, so it's safe.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not gonna get attacked by people, but their people attack you in psych wards or in jails too.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Like,
how many people die in them?
People die.
It's not right. Like not all of people are in there for murdering people. There's probably like the war on drugs, which is organised by the same people as the psych wards. Really, like the same backers own all the money in the drug trades.
Oh, illegal. Oh, it's legal drugs, so it's totally fine to get everyone addicted,
Yeah.
but not the other ones. Because I guess it's different MGs or toxicity amounts or something. It's ridiculous. So glad you think the same. It feels good to talk to somebody who feels the same, because I'm always...
I know. Every day is like hell. Oh. Every day is like hell. All the other people, they don't have to suffer around this stuff. Like, some of this stuff they don't have to suffer, and obviously most people don't. Especially, and even people that are anti-psych, most of them are not anti-psychology.
That too. That's not very good. Like, I'm not around. Even I noticed that too. A lot of them are stuck in the therapy language and worshiping psychologists, and so they worship therapists or psychologists, and it's like, that's the whole premise of psychiatry. It became from psychology. Psychology is a part of psychiatry. Is just a part of psychology. It's just a branch of it, and the basis and the foundation is in psychology. Psychology is what made the diseases. The DSM and stuff is psychology.
Yeah.
A lot of them, I noticed that.
They use drugs. Like, they've tried to make this illusion that, oh, it's so much better because they don't use drugs or whatever. I mean, aside from that not being true.
It doesn't matter. You can bring a person down with no drugs. That's why you harass.
You're breaking people down.
Weaknesses.
You're softening them up, breaking them down, yeah.
I agree.
But it really annoys me, though. Obviously, like, I'm more on side with the people that are like anti-drugs, and just like, it annoys me that they want their talking therapies. A lot of people are angry and that they have been given drugs and they haven't been given these so-called talking therapies that are meant to be so wonderful and help them in their eyes, because they haven't had them. But they've just been given drugs.
In psych wards, they acquire them. You know, and it was psych people. It was a PsyD that ruined me, that first ruined me. A therapist at a school. It was them that said all this stupid stuff and sent me. They're the ones who send people this mental evaluations, and oh, you're gonna get evaluations in a mental hospital and stuff and weird shit. It's like them doing that stuff. It's not them. It's where it started. And Cascade, Washington, they have psychologists at the frickin' courtroom. Maybe they don't have many Washington people, But yeah, I think it's ridiculous. A lot of them are still stuck in the language, so it really breaks down the movement. They call it a survivor movement, but I never heard of it until I went on Facebook. But it was like they call there's this whole movement. You can't have a movement if so many people are still buying into this mental health system, because it's mental health is the beginning of it. You do more mental health on people, there's more death because they believe in their illnesses. There's internalization. We've talked about it. But it's like you can't have a movement if there's all these people who are for mental health at all. Like, they'll just still be buying into that in consumers, because psychiatrists are taught psychology.
That's the bit about open dialogue I don't like. Like, they're moving away from it. But yeah, I just hate the whole the bits where they even call it like the whole kind of thing where aspects of talking therapies or you don't need professionals. These are people making things worse, but
yeah, you have to have professionals talk to you or something instead of your friends.
As if they're better. I know, right? Instead of your friends, family, community, which has been totally broken off from us. But right, as if these people sitting in a room, wearing sophisticated clothes, talking in sophisticated language, with an office kind of way.
Yeah.
As if they know better than you. As if they're in some way superior to you in this kind of way, like you say, like the only people that can know about this imaginary industry kind of thing.
Yeah, there'll never be a movement. Like, people will be all mad. Oh, this person didn't even know there was a survival movement. Well, I didn't tell him on Facebook. I would never even heard of it.
Yeah, same. It took me like 5-6 years. I'm not sure it's just because maybe the part of the thing of Facebook in the first place is that you only see what groups that you see. You're isolated in. Like, since I signed up to every anti-psychiatry group that I never thought of doing, I just assumed all of my friends had absolutely no idea, pretty much. All my friends that were on Facebook that I lost contact through with this as well, and they didn't understand or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I would write, I just want to die. I can't believe these people have done this to me.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Why do you get to live your lives while those psychiatrists have raped up my organs and called it mental health and tried to kill me?
You want to die more than ever. It does make you want to die more than ever because you're victimized, you're tortured, and you're stripped of your rights, and you're ruined. Your career is ruined, like mine was. Like scholarships, lots of money, and kicked out multiple times. Talking to yourself. I was doing that, and I figured out after January I didn't do that anymore, but it was like fall 2015, sitting there doing that stuff and all that stuff, but it makes you look like you're out of it, but it's like, it's just because everybody's so isolated and they told you can't talk to other people and tell them, email them this stuff or any of these people, and it's just ridiculous. Like, there was no place to complain to, like, I don't know. Like, I knew about the CCHR.
I was gonna die. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I want to ask you about it after, but seriously, I was going to die, and like, I didn't know there was any. I didn't really know there was any anti-psychiatry movement.
Yeah, you feel
because most of the people just want to, they're walking around blindly, idiotically, just taking their medications, happy to take their money, their medications, shut up their parents or their families, or they're just like, they're on drugs at the end of the day that numb them, and then they don't know. I don't know. They just. You can't. Some of them, they still crawl back to psychiatrists and their drugs, and I don't know. It's just like so weird.
I noticed that too. A lot of them in those groups, even like you'll see them rationalize therapy and psychologists, and I'm like, no, it's the premise. That's the foundation. When the whole logical A it is B or whatever, that whole logic thing. I don't know if you took critical thinking, but I did. But you learn about premise, and if it's a false premise, it could be a false conclusion. Well, it's like they have a false premise with psychology, and then they want to rationalize that, and they don't get how they're ruining themselves. They're making themselves victims by believing that they're ill and stuff, and it's like, stop believing in mental illness, stop believing all this stuff, stop with the mental health and the therapies and stuff, and think about alternatives, like things you did before all of that stuff. Like, do they even know? A lot of them start at teens and they don't even know, like, the difference or something.
Yeah, they don't know. They've been on drugs all their life. They don't know. Their parents are, people tell them they're mentally ill as they come out the grave, the birth canal.
Yeah.
They're
They don't
told
even
their
know
parents had mental illness or whatever. Their parents had mental illness. They've been on drugs their whole life. You know, like they just totally are so brainwashed by those points. They're
Yeah, they
like,
don't
how
even
can
know
I?
the difference. It's like
It's
they don't
like their
even know what
mum.
it's like
Like
that.
psychiatry is like their mum, and they can't criticize their
Yeah.
mum. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They go to their mum for milk, and they can't criticize their mum. Their mum feeds them milk and stuff.
Yeah, they don't even, they're just so stuck in psych and everything. Like, the whole
They have no
field.
concept.
Yeah, they have no concept of getting out of it and stuff. It's just not
Yeah.
good to see. Like, there are alternatives. Like, you look at motivational speakers. Why I'm trying to make hero motivators like alternative to all that stuff, like Good Samaritan Society and motivational buddy system, but also motivationology. Like, look at motivational speakers, inspirational speakers who don't mention psych language or internalization. Like, I always try to make sure I look at stuff before I post it or whatever, approve it or something. But it's like all that stuff, like you have to think there and be like, oh, it's just this or just that. Like, no, there's more to it. There's motivational speakers. There's music. Music is really cool. And it's not therapy. Like, people will be like, oh, it's therapy. It's not therapy. It's like music to make you feel alive and get emotion and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It's just music. Honestly, it's not therapy. It's
Yeah.
not music therapy. It's just music.
I know, it's just music.
Birds sing.
I know, right?
Because they sing. Fuck off with your therapy.
Yeah, they do.
Leave me alone.
I know, from art to music to everything.
Yeah,
No.
wanking therapy.
Even that new CNN Heroes thing, I don't know if it's trending on there, but I didn't approve it for the page because they're approving therapies and stuff, and I was like, therapies? What are they talking about therapy and all these different things, therapies? I was like, no, that's not heroic to me. That's not.
So hero motivators is then like, yeah, that's not heroic to me.
No,
God, no.
it's not. To have,
So that's a group you're a part of, and you'd like to that to lap over, and people. Did you start hero motivators?
yeah, I did. I've started this year, but that's the second website I paid for. I paid for that website and Everyday Psych Victims Project. I'm still paying for Hero
Yeah.
Motivators, but I would like to try to move it motivational buddy system. Like, we're always like, we're so isolated and stuff. So that's why I would be like, try to do the opposite, try to make people have friends, like motivational buddy system. Like, you always hear like little kids are like, oh, buddy system, get together, whatever. But no, I think for everybody could have some buddies or like whatever motivational buddy system, like you bring each other up and try to match each other, because not everyone is going to get along, right? So you have to match them up with interests and where they're living and make sure they speak the same language and
Oh yeah.
ages and do that. And then the other thing, like, so then you're not isolated, you have friends that are supposed to look out for you, and stuff, like more than one, probably more than just one, but maybe like 3 or something is what they had on there. But you talk one-on-one, and one-on-one is what you need to do, because otherwise it's not personal. If you're talking in a group, it doesn't work. Like, you don't get personal. You can't tell them everything, how much you love them or whatever, or how much they matter to you, whatever. You can't do that in a group, and that's exactly what they do in psych wards and stuff. They always is group therapy and all this stupid stuff. I'm like, no, forget the group of that stuff. Talk one-on-one. And then the other thing was like the Good Samaritan Network Society, so then you also have a network and society behind that, and you're doing Good Samaritan-like things, so you're making a difference, social and humanitarian change, so then that's where you get self-fulfillment from, and you're making a difference, and also you can help people that way too. Like, I'm trying to make a need help thing so you can connect people who need help. So I'd change the word help to not creepy, like not torture, and change it to real help, like self-sufficient, independent, defensive, like you have self-defense or you have to defend others and all that stuff, and change it so then you're getting it with people who are regular people, not professionals, but regular people who want to help people, and get them together in that way, and so then they could actually help people in a real way and personal way, and also become friends too. So you have your network society and you have the motivational buddy system working together. So I think that would be a good alternative, in my opinion. I was trying to make that motivationology, like studying motivational speakers and stuff, and music, and inspiring like TV shows like Pursuit of Happiness or like I think Castaway was interesting on an island who survived that survivalism kind of things like
Yeah,
Survivor. Just
that really helped me. I went around I went out with some friends as well. We went to like Wales in the mountains.
that's nice.
We like swam in lakes. We got naked and swam around like ran around mountains, like cold mountains, just ran around naked and
That's
swam
fun.
in lakes.
Skinny dip.
And it was really good. Like no one called the police or anything.
Yeah,
And we went
forget that.
we done yeah, like went to other places, just got a tent and just like made wood and fire and
Yeah.
like meditated in trees when it felt like it. Meditate, like going in trees and just relaxing has really helped over the last few years. Those kind of things help me recover. Doing yoga helps.
I like
You know, doing those things with friends and working out how to make a fire, or in fact, when you don't make a fire, sleeping in the rain and, you know, experiencing that and then realizing, okay, tonight we're going to make sure this fire works, and then feeling that as accomplishment. Those things really, those things have helped.
Yeah,
Yeah.
being in nature and being just self-sufficient and like you're on your own kind of things are really more empowering than being told you're
Yeah.
disabled. That's like
Yeah,
our society.
it's precisely right.
It's like
I was
trying to
told
make
I was like,
everything difficult.
that it was so brilliant to go from like special needs schools where you weren't even allowed to do like GCSEs or anything. We weren't allowed to see girls. I'd never seen a girl in my life since I was like removed from primary school pretty much.
Oh,
I wasn't
gosh.
like I had no life. Got home at night because the special needs school was so far away.
Wow.
You know, used to being around mental people in special needs schools. So then to get out of there, it was so amazing to just go mad and just like go and do things for ourselves. We could actually do,
Yeah.
like whether that be
It sounds
surviving in a
good.
wild or going to clubs and realizing, or just like talking to real girls in the real world as soon as we got the hell out of there.
Yeah, that sounds good. I know.
Yeah.
There's no special. They don't segregate people like here like that. They have like special ed education, but they don't separate like mental people into that. Are in regular classes, but that's so creepy. And you're even general segregated. That's weird. I mean, they do have like separate schools for troubled people, but they don't
Yeah,
really have.
that's
They
probably
have special education in the school, in the same school, and they keep them in the class. Like mental people, like people who are diagnosed mentally ill wouldn't be separated, as far as I know.
yeah. No, well they did call it extreme because basically the I'm not sure
Because you're
actually.
not like
Yeah.
you're not stupid.
No, but they call it delicate school or whatever. So there were people with all different kind of disabilities. Some people had so-called mental problems. Some people had so-called other like disabilities or autism, Down syndrome,
It's weird they don't do that.
so-called behavioral problems, emotional problems or whatever.
Mm.
Some people have just been excluded from a few schools.
Wow. Yeah, they don't do that here. They don't have that whole separate school for like people who are labeled. They don't. They're still in the classes. They have special education in the school. That's the same school though. It's still in the same school. But that's
What
like
is special
for, like,
education? Is that
Down syndrome people or something.
so? It's in the same school but in a different classroom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't have separate schools like that. They don't have that.
Oh no,
The
here.
only reason they
yeah.
have they have a separate high school for people who are like delinquents, like for people who did crimes or whatever, and they're juveniles, or they got kicked out of school and suspended many times, so then they have to go to that school. But it's not for like they don't separate mentally ill people yet like that. Apparently they kick people out of college over it, but they don't separate them into separate classes, like mentally ill or behavioral problems or so-called so-called emotional things. They don't separate those people at all.
I see it as vaccine injured, right? Because they're just drugging us and messing us up, and I can prove this because I can show you the vaccinations from people like really, really big, smart business people on vax and stuff. That he's a prosecutor, so he knows who's guilty, what's the guilty crime or not, and like had children that he was given Tourette syndrome because I was, like given the things that they would call Tourette syndrome and OCD and stuff. and then things that they would call autism. You know, on Vax when they do that. So basically, like vaccine injured. I believe like we're all kind of injured in some way in by all these drugs and stuff we're being given.
Yeah.
But
But
so they don't have
it's
different schools
separated.
for
If you had been in
what?
America, you wouldn't have been separated like that. And they don't have gender, they don't separate the genders either in these schools, as far as I know.
They didn't separate genders, but all the kids that had been deemed as problematic were males
Well,
at that
that's
age.
weird.
There were like three girls. There were like there were like 4,000 boys in a school,
What?
for example, and there were about 12 girls in the whole school, for
Oh,
example.
that's so weird. That's real.
Yeah, but they say boys are often more of a problem, or you know, just like basically because they don't know how to handle them, and most people are single
That's
mothers.
weird. They
And
don't separate people with behavior problems unless they get suspended here. And even then, they go to charter schools or private schools. If
what happened to people with autism? They call that they
they
say
just,
they
for
have
people with
autism and stuff.
autism, they go to special education classes.
So in the same school, just
Yeah, the
different
same
classrooms.
school. Yeah.
Ah, I see.
But they're separated still, so you don't really see them that much. But you'll see them on campus though. Like they're in their separate room. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one of the reasons they'd say is like when people have these problems, one of the reasons they'd justify it with or say it with or whatever is that we'd get bullied.
Mhm.
Whereas you're more of a target, you stick out more, you know, with all
Yeah, you
yeah.
can't even talk to people who are like not labeled either. That's wrong. And you're not autistic.
No, so when I was dragged away from
That
the
makes
school,
sense.
right, I was just told that I'm the school that because I was a little kid, so I was dragged. So instead of them having a full-on integration or whatever, so I was dragged to a mental place. So I was seen as even more crazy. Yeah, you know how it is anyway. It's the same with the adult places. Same thing.
Yeah.
You're dragged away to a crazy place. They don't know what you're like or not like. You know, they just believe whatever the locking place that lock you up
Mhm.
says you are like
Yeah.
because they're official and they've got degrees or whatever.
That's just wrong. That's so weird. I'm so glad they don't do that here yet. Or they got
What?
rid of it or something. Why they don't do
Yeah.
that? Because I remember some people like, no, they had them in the same school. They have the people in the same school if they're even they're slow. They're still in the same school.
Yeah, because at least you can go up to like other girls and talk to them. You know what I mean? Like if you're a boy, it's oh god, it was like being trapped
Yeah, that'd be awful.
in.
I wouldn't like the same. I wouldn't like to be around all females. Like
I know,
fighting all the
right?
time or something.
I didn't mind it, but I just wanted to like know what a so-called because we were taken away and I didn't know what a normal girl was supposed to be. Absolutely hadn't seen a so-called normal girl in years. Like we had a completely different idea of what a normal girl is. Like there's some mystical, magical thing, a normal
Oh no.
girl. Obviously, there's no such thing as a normal girl, but you know, it was some mystical thing that we had no idea what was.
That's so
Like, wow, imagine a normal girl.
that's awful. No, they're really co-ed and they don't do that stuff. Like they only do that if you're like suspended or something. Even then, you can still go to charter or private school if you want to, and you're still with other people. Like they have a charter school here that some troubled people would go to, but then you go back to your own school or you go back to life. But not even troubled people, just people who just didn't like the regular school or something. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know. They don't separate people who are mental. Like they don't mentally ill people aren't separated. The behavioral and social problems, they don't do that unless you're kicked
It's
out,
because,
suspended, or do some kind of crime.
yeah,
They don't do that. Only the slow people are separated as special education. Like they're slow. I guess I'll just say that, but you know, like
yeah, they're in a different class, but they're in the same
yeah,
school, so you see each other around and stuff.
yeah, but they're not like they're like they allow people who get D's and F's to go regular classes, but I mean, they're slow, I mean they're like super slow. Like they can't, like they're disabled. Like they're super.
Yeah, they got severe like
Yeah, yeah, it's
development
severe. It's not just minor. It's severe. Yeah, they got some kind of birth defect or something, or Down syndrome or something, or
yeah.
like super extreme autism. Like not just a little bit, but like extreme. So when I hear
Yeah.
people like
So
say
if it's less, if
autism,
it's more
like that's
mild, you know, you're in the same
overdiagnosed.
classroom.
Yeah.
It was weird here, like if they recognize someone as being having just like some kind of mild autism or whatever, they'd be in the same classroom. But yeah, if you had like some emotional disturbance or whatever they called it, like mental
Really?
whatever, you had to be dragged. I don't know. That's what happened to me anyway, and the people that I
Wow.
was in those other weird places with. But I think it's rare. I still think it was quite rare. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea.
It's probably
It
more
was horrible.
common than you think then, because I didn't.
Yeah,
And
because I thought, yeah, put it this way, right? How uncommon is it? Because we're made to think like there's people, when you call them medications, you're not perceptive that your medications, which is supposedly a good thing for you don't connect that with any other problem you have. You don't realize that as the culprit for any physical problem that may arise. It wouldn't be the medications that are good for you and that you always take every day that are giving you like horrible, weird problems with your body. It's disingenuous. You have to be like perceptive. Like you wouldn't necessarily realize that your other drugs, your illicit drugs, are a problem. A lot of people drink alcohol a lot, and they just like don't think alcohol is the problem. A lot of people take weed every day and or a lot, and they don't think weed
mm,
is the problem.
yeah,
You know what I mean? They're not really perceptive of their own problem on
yeah,
drugs.
exactly. They get so used to it they don't even realize it anymore, and that's
Yeah,
then they realize years later, oh, I gained weight. Oh, okay,
yeah.
or something. It was from
So
that.
apparently, yeah, 60% of people have sexual whatever dysfunction from these medications, right? From these drugs.
Yeah,
And then if you have, and then maybe a hand less than that, maybe a quite a lot less than that, have it permanently. But um,
yeah.
how can I be the? I'm pretty sure that it's still not this small in number. I'm pretty sure that people obviously aren't perceiving it. Um,
Probably.
it's just like I'm not the only. Put it this way, right? Okay, so if most people went back to normal, yeah, and their sexuality is getting back to normal, if you took that as a given that it's so rare and most people's go back to normal, then how come I'm the only one? Wouldn't that make it the odds so much against me? I would have been so unlucky for my body not to go back to normal. It's more logical to think that what happened to me that was supposedly such a rare occurrence for it not to go back to normal was that. It's so logical to think maybe it isn't just me. You know, maybe a lot
There's
of
way
people's
more
are not going back to
history.
normal. Maybe the chances are higher. Maybe it's not just because I'm such a rare occurrence. Maybe it's not such a rare occurrence.
Yeah, it's probably not as rare as you think. They probably just have different levels of effect too. Like maybe they don't get as
Yeah.
much aroused or something as they did before. I'm not like a very sexual person, so I don't get aroused at all. But it's like not
Yeah.
like
No,
oh,
most women are the drugs are mostly given to women, so that already cuts out a lot of people that with quite obvious genitals. You know,
yeah,
women's genitals, they go in and they don't have to like have an outward erection all the time. It
that's
doesn't work
true.
like that for
Yeah,
women.
a lot less.
So most of the people on these drugs are women by a like 3/3 majority or something, and then that could rule out some of the people, maybe, and then you got uh, the a lot of the people. Not everybody is going to be a teenager on these drugs, and if they're kids, they wouldn't necessarily know that that's not their sexuality for a start.
Yeah, they wouldn't know until you're older
If
and
you're
you're like, oh,
So there's only a narrow amount of people that might think, okay, maybe this isn't correct for my age, which would be the age bracket of like, I don't know, 16 to mid 20s, possibly. So, because people in their 30s might think it's a natural occurrence. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
People who are younger than that might think it's not. Might think it's just how their sexuality is. Whereas, uh, so a lot of people in their 40s, they'll either not care, or they'll think it's a totally natural thing to happen, when really it's the drug that's done that to them.
Yeah.
And the human desire to reproduce, just like the the Rolling Stones guy who is like in his 80s creating children. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not really meant to lose that kind of thing, regardless in some way. Like, it's totally not natural, but it's definitely not natural at these ages.
No.
So it must be a lot more people.
Yeah, you're just not. They just isolate psych victims, so you don't know who
Yeah,
else is doing it. They isolate just like they isolate people who get bullied or whatever. They're not weak. Like, they're not really like, they don't even have to be weak or whatever. They just isolate the person and makes them weak to be isolated. And they think they're alone. There's no one else out there, and there's no one who's supporting them
yeah.
or anything. They're like, there are no friends or anything. And they surround them with all these terrible people around them, and so you just think you're alone, and you're not alone. But things like websites that bring people together, like somehow in social media like way, would be good to bring people together, so you're not alone. Like, there are other people, other victims too, like stuff.
Yeah, I see how you connect that up. Yeah, yeah. That's quite good. I mean, we need another way to deal with this crap.
Yeah, so you're not alone. There are other people also victimized, and it's not like, and it's not the other twisted, you're not alone, like, oh, there are other people who are mentally ill. No, no, no. That's not the whole thing. You're not alone. Like, I try to look that up. You're not alone. No, it's the difference. Like, there are other people victimized by psych or whatever, or victims, or in general victims, and you're not alone being a victim, or, I feel like it's hard to be a survivor or whatever. Like, you'd have to stay out for quite a few years to never go back in there. Maybe you've been out for years, but I haven't. Like, it was just really recent. So it was like, I feel like I'm still a victim, and you're still always a victim. Like, you're victimized, but
I'm a
that's all.
slave forever. I'll never have my sexuality back.
Yeah.
It's being controlled by someone else forever, and like, there's other terrible things. Other terrible things. Like my gut, I'm like, and it's pretty extreme. Every night, I can't ignore it. Like, every night, I am uncontrollably farting with foods that were totally okay, but the withdrawal obviously messed up my intestines. It was doing all damage there as well.
Oh no.
I can't share a bed like that. I can't share a bed with someone, even if I could reproduce with them. You know what I
It's
mean?
terrible. Yeah, they do a lot of digestive issues, and they don't even recognize leaky gut or anything like that. And it ruins these people's digestive systems, and they can't do anything. All that stuff needs to be, like, showed and exposed. Like, seriously, why isn't there research going on to teach that? Like, they have money, they can research it, but they're just so comfy in whatever their
Yeah.
class thing is.
The
They just don't want to look or something. I don't know.
the truth is that they don't need taxpayers' money and drug companies' money. They don't need both. They could do it fine with just the drug companies' money.
Uh-huh. But they want to use the government because it's guaranteed money.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, we've been talking for 3 hours, but
Yeah, I know.
let's look at the picture at the beach.
Which beach?
Your profile picture.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh,
No, thank you. That's when my best friend Albert, we went to the sea. When we went to Brighton. I think we were like 19. When he had work the next morning. It's funny. We went, or one of the things that we done. We went to, there's like the town outside of London. There's another seaside town, the closest seaside town from here. It's a really nice, relaxing, like, hilly place with sea and a pier, and
that's cool.
yeah, that was good. We went in the sea. We waited for the Coast Guard guy to leave, and then we all got naked and ran into the sea, kind of thing.
That's funny. stripping and the strip skinny dipping.
Yeah, no, we weren't naked, but you know, like you can see we had like
Oh
our
yeah.
boxers on or something.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like a dash for freedom anyway.
That's cool. Are you close to the beach? I'm like 5 hours from it.
Um, yeah, it's not that far because England is just like a small island. In reality, it's
Yeah,
just very small island. So you're never that far away from the sea. And
that's cool.
on an hour and a half.
That's not too bad. That's pretty good.
I know, you wouldn't think it because London is just like some big city. You would never think that the seaside is only an hour and a half away.
That's nice. I have no idea. I've never been there. But I'm 5 hours from it from where I live, so it's pretty far.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
say um should probably say goodbye, good night, and then
yeah, I
what
know.
time is it where you are?
It's probably like the middle of the night where you live. It's 9
Yeah,
a.m.
it's 5 a.m., but
Wow,
like my
you all
whole
night, all
sleeping
day.
pattern and life is pretty messed up. So, I'm hoping maybe I can edit this if it's a podcast. Maybe I could turn this into a podcast
You
somehow.
could, if you wanted to.
I'm not sure people would listen to a 3 hour one for
No, it
sure
would probably be
either.
really short. You could even make multiple podcasts or something. If you want,
Oh yeah, yeah.
probably like 10 to 15 minutes or something.
People would go mad because it would have a voice coming in their earphones in one ear and then another one on the other ear, you know, like panning right and left.
That's funny. It's all like coming in one ear. Oh no. Oh.
I'll speak to you another time.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later. That was
Mess.
cool talking to you. It really does feel good to talk about it. It's like you don't feel so isolated and stuff. And well, other people are anti-psych, like the whole field, not just the top either. So that too is difficult. I'm like, stop using psychologists. They're not the only like credible people. There
Yeah, they're not the only
are.
non-drug option.
You can think of anthropologists. Like, what happened to all the anthropologists? They're gone. You know? Motivationology or something. Motivationologists. There should be motivationologists instead or something.
Yeah. What happened to humanity? Like, we're social creatures.
Yeah. There are other
What happened
people.
to support? What happened to family? Whatever, like, people.
Yeah, I know, right? Friends.
Yeah.
My family. But anyways, okay. Awesome. Have a good night or day.
You too. Message me when yeah, just message me on there like Kik or WhatsApp. WhatsApp's probably quickest, if you want to, whatever.
Okay, I'll look you up. But yeah, I don't work tomorrow, but I'm gonna try to figure out some stuff tomorrow, like schedule some stuff. I might have to ask the Sparks Energy people to see if they're like gonna get, I don't know, this $100 enrollment thing. I can't get it from them. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. If I'm gonna drive down and try to ask them or something, I don't know. So something.
All right. I'll speak to you later.
All right,
Is that,
see you later. Thank you.
Good luck with the Sparks. Are they electricity people?
They're gas
Ah,
company. They were like a marketing company, and I like quit from them. I only worked for like a week, and then I couldn't get people to convert over, like only 4 people. So I like quit and stuff, and I got this Kmart job, but it was like, yeah, they keep ignoring me. They're like Eve company, they're not Sparks, and so I might have to call Sparks themselves and ask them or something, but it's like really frustrating to not be able to get my money, from a check
yeah.
moments. Like,
Yeah. That must be frustrating.
yeah,
That
that's
you
frustrating.
done the work.
Yeah, I know. Nobody calls me back, nobody emails me, nobody texts me or anything. Like, I even asked somebody else about it and they ignore me. It's like, as soon as you quit, you don't exist anymore or something.
Yeah. Alright. Night. Good night.
Okay.
I'll speak to you later.
Okay, see ya.